This is Modern Service Mastery, Business School with Boots on. Real lessons, real talk, and real growth for the residential service industry. Let's get to work.
So let's dive into the concept of ego, a topic that honestly a lot of us don't think about until it, trips us up. Ryan Holiday defines ego as an unhealthy belief in your own importance. And honestly, that's kind of spot on, isn't it? It's that little voice that says, I've got this, when you really need help. Or maybe it's the thing that makes us push back on feedback instead of absorbing it. Sound familiar?
Oh man, too familiar. I can't tell you how many times I thought I didn't need anyone's help when I first started. Like, I got this covered, back off. Turns out, nope, I didn't got it.
And it gets in the way, right? Ego can block us from learning, from collaborating as a team, and from really growing in our careers. In fact, when I started out, I vividly remember this one project. I thought I had all the answers and I didn't need anyone else chiming in. We had this complicated client request, and instead of reaching out to the team, I plowed ahead with my solution. And let me tell you, it wasn't just the wrong approach. It ended up costing us more time to redo everything.
Ouch. So basically you turned a molehill into like a mountain of extra work?
Exactly. And the kicker, if I had just set my ego aside and said, hey, here's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? I could have solved the problem faster and probably created a better solution. But admitting you don't know something or
asking for help.
Exactly. Asking for help. It can feel like weakness, but you've got to flip that script. Asking for help is strength. It shows you're invested, that you're open to learning, to improving, and that's how you grow. Honestly, it's how teams grow too.
And let's not forget, it's not just about you. Ego can mess up relationships, right? Like between your team, your manager, all that tension. And for what? Stella on my crew used to hate asking me for anything. Like, she'd rather struggle for hours than just ask me how to figure out, a tricky system setup. And when I noticed, I had to tell her, Stell, this isn't a solo game. Work with me, not against me.
That's a great point. Teams thrive on collaboration, which means setting egos aside and focusing on getting the job done right. The humility to admit what you don't know and the willingness to learn, those are superpowers in any industry.
And being humble doesn't mean shrinking yourself either. It's not like, oh, I'm terrible at everything, please save me. It just means you're open, like, hey, I'm here to grow and I don't have all the answers. That's way more powerful than pretending like you've got it all figured out.
Right. And when you practice that, you'll be amazed at how much smoother things go. So, listeners are probably wondering, how do you start? Well, it's about small steps. If you're making a difficult decision, check in with the team if you need to. Ask, what am I missing here, guys? And listen, like really listen to what they say. That's how you build trust and make better decisions.
And trust me, they'll actually respect you more for it. Nobody likes working with a know-it-all. Plus, when you show you're open to ideas, people are way more likely to have your back when you need it. You know what's wild? Coming off what we just said about ego, it's like, once I started to let go of that I know-it-all mindset, I realized how much curiosity mattered. Looking back at my first week on the job, I thought I was this eager sponge, soaking it all in. But that didn't last long before I started thinking, yeah, I've got this down, even though I totally didn't. Turns out staying curious is something you really have to keep working on.
That's such a great point, Jake. Curiosity isn't just natural, it's intentional. Doug McMillon, he started out unloading trucks at Walmart, but he had this insatiable curiosity. He didn't just do the job, he learned every part of it. And now, he's the CEO of a company nearly every household knows by name. That's what curiosity builds, opportunity.
Yeah, but it's not always shiny and big picture, right? Like, curiosity is also about those small things. Asking why a process works the way it does, or, even better, why it doesn't. That's how I went from being the guy stacking bags of mulch to, running the crew. Just kept asking, hey, just want to understand better. Why do you do it like that?
Exactly. And that attitude is priceless. Here's another real example. Mary Barra. She started inspecting fenders at General Motors. She didn't treat it like just a job. Instead, she used curiosity to master what went into even the smallest piece of the car. That foundation, it carried her to becoming the CEO. You don't get there without asking questions and learning as much as you can wherever you're at.
Man, that's inspiring. But wait, let's break it down for people listening. Like, what does that actually mean on a job site? Because I feel like it's easy to say be curious, but kind of harder to know how to do it without feeling like you're just annoying the shit out of everyone.
Oh, that's fair. It starts with observation. Look for gaps or things that could be improved. Then instead of guessing, ask someone with experience, why do we do it this way? People love to share what they know if you approach it the right way. And showing curiosity, it isn't annoying. It shows you're invested.
Yeah, and if you mess up asking, who cares? Seriously. When I first asked my manager, why do we always prep this way and not that way? He gave me a weird look like, why do you care? But after a few seconds, he goes, actually, let me show you why. Just like that, I learned something that made my whole crew faster. And yeah, it made me look pretty good too.
Right there. There it is. You demonstrated you cared enough to grow, and that makes people notice. Plus, Jake, curiosity builds adaptability. The more you ask, the more confident you get in tackling new challenges. And that confidence, it really shows. Employers want adaptable people. They want problem solvers who aren't afraid to dig deeper.
Totally. And being curious, it doesn't have to be all formal. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment. Like you're on a lunch break, ask your coworker, hey, why do you always do this step first? Or how'd you figure out to do it like that? Makes the time go faster, and bonus, it's free information you can actually use.
Absolutely. And studies back this up. Curiosity triggers your brain's reward system, making you more likely to retain what you learn. It's literally rewiring you for success. So, the take home, feed your curiosity whenever and wherever you can. It's like the fuel that keeps the engine running.
Speaking of fuel, how do you avoid running out of it? Like, what keeps curiosity alive even after you've, figured it out?
Great question. Stay open, stay hungry. Even when you've got a rhythm that works, always ask yourself, what's next? How can I do this better? Try different things, different ways. Being curious isn't a one-time thing, it's a mindset. And leaders like Doug McMillon and Mary Barra, they kept that mindset alive throughout their entire careers.
So basically, you're saying it's not about asking questions. It's about owning the fact you don't know everything yet. That's how you grow. So Mike, that makes me wonder, if being curious is so important, why do people make asking for help so hard? Is it that ego thing again, or do we just all want to suffer in silence?
Good question. Honestly, a lot of it comes down to fear. Fear of looking weak, fear of being judged, maybe even fear of admitting we don't have all the answers. And let's face it, Jake, it's even worse early in your career because you really want to prove yourself.
Yeah, it's like, if I ask for help, will my manager think I can't handle the job? Will my crew stop trusting me? It's this constant loop in your head.
Exactly. But here's the thing, those fears, they're usually way bigger in our heads than in real life. Managers and teammates actually appreciate it when you ask for help, especially if you do it the right way. It shows teamwork, humility, and commitment to doing the job well.
Right, but it's got to be about the approach too, right? Like how you ask makes a difference.
Oh, big time. It's all about being proactive and specific. Let's role play this, Jake. Say you're struggling with a tricky task. You need advice. Don't just stroll up and go, I don't know what I'm doing. Instead, approach it like this. Hey, Mike, I've been trying to figure out the wiring setup for this, and I'm hitting a wall. Do you have a second to walk me through it?
Sure, let me give it a shot. Okay, let's say I'm stuck setting up, a new irrigation controller. I go, hey, Mike, I'm finishing up this irrigation system install, but the new smart controller is kind of throwing me off. Can you help me understand the best way to program the rain delay? How's that?
Perfect. It's clear, focused, and shows you've already put some thought into solving the problem. Plus, it's respectful of the other person's time. A great move in any work environment. Now, from there, it's about listening to the feedback and making adjustments based on what you learn.
Yeah, and honestly, keeping it specific makes it easier for the other person to help you without feeling like you're dumping your whole problem on them.
Exactly. And beyond just asking for help, it's also about building strong relationships with your peers and managers so they feel invested in your growth. That's when you really start to see a culture of collaboration forming.
So how do you make that connection? Because let's be real, some teams feel, like disconnected.
It starts with active listening. When someone gives you feedback, don't just hear it, really pay attention and act on it. Make time for check-ins with your manager or teammates, even if it's just to say, hey, how do you think I'm doing? Anything I could be doing better? That openness builds trust.
Yeah, and offering help goes a long way too. Like if you see someone on your crew struggling, don't wait for them to ask. Just step in and say, hey, need a hand? It's small, but it shows you've got their back.
Exactly. It's like a cycle. The more you help and connect, the easier it becomes to ask for help yourself. And the more you do that, the stronger your team gets. It's how trust and collaboration really grow.
All right, so to wrap all this up, let's give people some quick action steps. 1. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be specific, polite, and ready to learn.
2. Invest in your relationships. Listen, give feedback, and offer help. Collaboration is key to success.
And 3. Ditch the damn ego. Seriously, it's okay to admit you don't know everything. In fact, it's how you grow, and that growth is what separates good workers from great ones.
Absolutely. And on that note, remember, folks, it's all about taking action. Try these strategies on your next project. Be curious, ask for help when you need it, and support your team. You'd be amazed at how far those small steps can take you.
Oh, and don't forget, share your experiences with us. Hit up the feed and let us know what worked, where you struggled, or even some wins you're proud of. We're all in this together.
Do the reading, do the action items. Really apply what you're leading, and let's keep the conversation going. When we share and support each other, we grow together. And with that, thanks for joining us today. Be humble, stay curious, and keep fueling the team.
Thanks for listening to Modern Service Mastery Business School with Boots On. If this episode helped you lead, grow, or think differently, share it with your crew and keep the momentum going.